Hello, Claire. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk about departing seniors with me today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Did the premiere happen or is it tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
How excited are you?
Very. I'm very excited. Yeah. It's
I know,
a long time coming. So yeah.
and I know the film has hit festivals. How has the
Mhm.
reception been so far?
It's been great. Yeah, we've been in festivals for I guess like 8 or 9 months now. We played in London, in France, in Norway, in Germany, in California, in Chicago, and all over the place. It's been really great. And so it's been really wonderful to hear the reception. People saying like this is one of my favorite new teen slashers, and like people being excited that it's actually like a queer slasher or a queer horror film. It's been fun to hear that kind of response as well. So it makes me really happy.
Yeah, I love that. I thought this movie was so fun, and I think it's really carried so well by your two leads, with Ignacio and the actress who plays Bianca.
Yeah.
Tell me about finding them, because I know
Yes,
this
it
was
was
a fast
tough.
process too. So tell me all about it.
It was definitely tough. So the woman who plays Bianca, her name is Ariane Roach, and she's fantastic. She is the Chicagoan, and I had known her for a while because we both had roles on the 4400, the CW show. And she just is like someone I'd always thought was really talented in the Chicago scene. And I knew she was really young. Like, I remember when I met her, I was like, how old are you? And she was like, and she told me, I was like, what? Like, she's just a brilliant, brilliant young person. And so I kind of always had her earmarked in my brain as Bianca. And we saw other people too, just to see. But she was kind of who I always thought I wanted. And then Ignacio was harder to find. We saw a lot of Chicagoans for the role, but it's a specific type, right? It's like we need him to be, a Hispanic kid. He needs to feel still young. He needs to be someone who's believable to be really, really smart. Like he's an all A student. But he also has to be kind of funny and kind of alt. He can't be too much of a goody two shoes, but he also has to have this like the dramatic chops that the role requires, and he has to be really grounded and authentic and carry a feature film. Like it's a lot to ask of someone. So we saw people from all over the country, and we didn't cast Ignacio until I think it was like 8 or 9 days before we started filming. It was like very like down to the wire. We were looking for him for quite some time, and he was coming off this show Primo on Freevee that he just wrapped up. And so he just became available. He sent in his tape, and I was like, "Oh my God, I think this is him!" And so it was really exciting. But there wasn't even time for them to do like a chemistry read together, which is what I would have loved to have done. So we had to just kind of hope for the best. And thank goodness on day one, I was like, "This is a fun dynamic." We kind of got to the first thing we filmed was the long scene of them like walking, talking, and in the grass, hanging out together. I kind of scheduled it so that we could have a day of just the two of them, just talking to kind of really establish their chemistry and get a feel for each other. And I think that was one of the smartest things we could have done. It set us up for success, and it kind of helped them have time to develop their their banter, their vibe, etc.
Absolutely. And nailing it. Like they are so good together. Like watching it, I just absolutely love them. That's so crazy to me that it was like down to the wire like that.
Yeah,
Now,
it
how
really
did
was.
you find seniors? How did this like fall into your lap? And why did
Yeah.
you want to take on this project?
So my friend Jose, he's the writer, Jose Nateras, excuse me, and he was someone I'd known in the Chicago theater scene for quite some time, and he kind of took me out to lunch just to kind of pick my brain about movie making, and because he knew I directed a bunch of short films, and he was like, "Well, I'm trying to get my feature made, and I have a producer. We're working on it, but we're looking for a director." And I was like, "Let me interview for you." And so I read the script. And I thought it was so much fun. I thought the characters were what drew me. I'm very much a uh, character relationship driven director. I think if a film doesn't have that heart, that core, then I'm not going to be able to be invested no matter what the genre is or what the story is. If I can't really buy into the characters and their dynamics and their psychology and their friendships, then I'm out. And so
Same.
I thought it was like a really, really well written, fun depiction of friendship in high school. And then all the rest of it was gravy, you know, like I thought it was so much fun to be able to take these different tropes and kind of turn them on their head and bring a more fresh perspective to something we've seen before. It was just like a really enticing challenge. So yeah.
I love it. So, is this your first feature?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
huge.
Thank you so much.
So going from shorts to a feature, obviously it's similar yet different, a different beast. So what
Mhm.
did you find to be the most challenging and then also the most rewarding in the end?
Oh my gosh. Um, yeah, I mean, making a feature is, I think for me, the experience was like making 5 short films all right in a row, right? And so in some ways that was made it more approachable to think like it's just a bunch of shorts. You've done this before, right? But I remember I felt like, am I gonna have a moment of feeling imposter syndrome or feeling like I'm not ready for this? And then I stepped on set and there was no time to think about like, do you know what you're doing? I immediately was like, whoosh, I dove right in. So thankfully I didn't have any of that fear or any of those doubts or any of those nerves. I kind of I got in the water and I knew how to swim. So that was great. The most challenging part was I'd never worked with stunts before, and so it was definitely really, really tricky to coordinate kind of um, we had a really good shot list for our stunts. We knew what we wanted to achieve, but the amount of time it takes to achieve stunts safely and effectively is just really, really tough for an indie budget. So that was challenging. And then just, to do 14-hour days on repeat, it starts to take a toll. There were days where my shoes were, I had to buy a new pair of shoes mid-shoot because I was on my feet so much that my shoes fell apart. So like the exhaustion gets to you. But the most rewarding thing is that it is such a feat. I remember when it was done, if on a short film you're going to put out a couple fires each day, on a feature you're putting out way more fires every single day for 16 days. And so I felt at that point by the end of filming like I could accomplish anything. Like I literally felt like I could fly. I felt like I was like, yep, what's the problem? I'll take care of it. I felt so like such a badass. It was for sure the most like rewarding feeling, and like the trust the team put it in me, and watching things back and seeing what we got and being really pleased with it was just so much fun. I mean, I want to do it all over again. I would love to direct another film tomorrow.
That's awesome. Now I have a couple fun questions for you to kind of
Great.
round out this interview. So if you were to have the precognitive power that he
Mm.
gets, who would you want your mentor to be? Would you want it to be like Johnny Smith from The Dead Zone? Would you want Raven Simone from That's So Raven, Phoebe from Charmed, or like Victor from Rose Red? Who would be your mentor?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I feel like it's got to be Raven Simone. Sorry. Like because I feel like some of the other ones would be like creepy about her, or freak me out. Maybe not Phoebe, but I feel like Raven would be the most fun. And she would keep me like grounded. Like if I'd start to get freaked out about something, she'd crack a joke and bring me right back down to earth. And so that's what you need in that situation. I think that's what I loved about Bianca and Ignacio is like he'd be freaking out and she'd be like, well, and kind of shrug. And I think you need that in a dynamic.
Absolutely. And then my final thing for you, if for those who might be excited or even on the fence of watching the film, give me like your 30-second pitch on why everyone should check out Departing Seniors.
Oh, first of all, you get to see a new mask, and a new like iconic horror mask, and see that at play, and it's really fun. I think it's used in ways it hasn't been done before, which I think is really exciting. And I think it's just that it's a fresh perspective on the stories you know and love. It's a throwback high school thriller, kind of high school teen movie slasher with really relatable characters and tons of heart and tons of humor. You're gonna laugh and you're gonna have fun, and it's gonna challenge some of your perspectives and take some cliches and turn them on their head in a really fun way. So I think if you want that like warm, familiar thing with a new fit attached, this is the film for you.
Boom. Professional. Awesome, Claire. Thank you so much. And I hope everyone makes sure to check out Departing Seniors.
Thank you so much for having me.